Hey everyone, welcome back to Corporate Decoder, the place where we try to make sense of the crazy world of corporate finance and business. And what do you know, we've got another filing from Greenpro Capital Corp. And let me tell you, things have certainly been interesting. Alright, so what exactly is going on here with Greenpro Capital Corp? Well, in simple terms, this is a report they have to file when something big and important happens unexpectedly. And in this case, the biggest headline is a change in their accountants. It's like your trusted doctor suddenly leaving and you having to find a new one right before a major checkup. It makes you wonder what's going on, doesn't it? So here is what we've learned on the 10th of September of 2025. Greenpro Capital Corp had to say goodbye to their longtime accountants, JP Centurion. Now this wasn't just a casual parting of ways. The entire board and the audit committee of Greenpro all agreed that JP Centurion was out, and they were out immediately. This is always a signal to pay attention, because usually when a company switches accountants, it is because of something significant. Now here is the interesting part about JP Centurion's exit. They signed off on Greenpro's financial reports for the years 2024 and 2023. The good news is that JP Centurion didn't issue any really bad news like an adverse opinion, which would basically mean the financials are messy, or a disclaimer of opinion, which means they could get enough information to give an opinion at all. Their reports weren't T-qualified or modified in a way that suggests major accounting rule breaking or scope issues, and this is a big but, they did include what's called an explanatory paragraph. This paragraph specifically highlighted two things. First, it raised concerns about whether Greenpro Capital Corp can keep operating in the future, essentially flagging a going concern issue. Second, it mentioned critical audit matters, things that were highly complex or required significant auditor attention. So while the accountants aren't saying the numbers are wrong, they are saying there are some big question marks about the company, its ability to stay in business, and some really important financial areas that needed extra scrutiny. The filing also states that from the end of 2023 through the current date in 2025, there were no disagreements between Greenpro and JP Centurion about accounting rules, how they reported their finances, or how the audit was done. There were also no other important issues that would normally be reported. This means Greenpro is saying that JP Centurion didn't leave because of a fight over how the numbers were presented. It paints a picture where the accountants left maybe due to internal reasons at JP Centurion, or perhaps Greenpro wanted a fresh perspective, but not necessarily because of an accounting dispute. However, JP Centurion has not yet provided a letter confirming they agree with everything Greenpro. Saying about their departure, Greenpro is still working on getting that letter, which is a bit unusual. This is a key piece of information that usually comes out to give investors more confidence. So who is the new sheriff in town for Greenpro's accounting? It's a firm called Svai Malaysia PLT. They've been brought on to handle the company's finances for the rest of 2025 and any other financial periods in the near future. The important thing to note here is that Greenpro states they did not consult Svai on any accounting matters or potential audit opinions before hiring them. This suggests Svai is coming in with a clean slate with no prior opinions or advice given on Greenpro's financial situation. Now, according to the filing, Teresa mentioned of an exhibit, a letter from JP Centurion dated the 23rd of September 2025. This letter is supposed to clarify if they agree with the statements made in this report about their resignation. Typically, this letter would be filed along with this report to provide transparency. As of the filing date, it seems this letter is still pending. Looking at the company's stock, which trades under the ticker GRNQ on the Nasdaq Capital Market, everything seems to be in order there from a listing perspective. But the bigger picture here regarding the accountants is what really grabs your attention. So what does this all mean for Greenpro Capital Corp? When a company changes its auditor, especially when the outgoing auditor flags concerns about its ability to continue as a going concern, it is a big red flag for investors. It suggests that the company might be facing significant financial challenges. The fact that there were no apparent disagreements over accounting practices is somewhat reassuring, as it means the change wasn't forced by a dispute over how financial data was presented. However, the lack of a definitive agreement letter from the former auditor adds a layer of uncertainty. It's like trying to understand a situation when one side of the story is still a bit fuzzy. Investors will be watching closely to see how the new accountants handle Greenpro's audits, and whether they echo or alleviate the concerns previously raised by JP Centurion, especially regarding the going concern issue. The future direction for Greenpro will heavily depend on its ability to address these financial uncertainties and present a stable outlook to the market. Alright, that's our deep dive into Greenpro Capital Corp latest filing. What's your take on these accountants switching and the whispers of financial uncertainty? Let us know in the comments below. If you found this breakdown helpful, please hit that like button and subscribe for more corporate insights. And don't forget to join our Discord community linked in the description to keep the conversation going. Thanks for watching. See you next time.